Hey, amazing readers. Miss McGuire here with another ELA lesson. Say, oh yeah. What are we going to learn? All right, so today is all ocean animals. Hence my awesome cool hat that I made. Just keep swimming. Just keep learning. You're amazing. And if you can't tell, I love hats, so there's that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our objective. We got some really, really cool, interesting fish we're going to learn about today, and I hope you learned something new because I definitely did. All right, here we go. Our objective is I can compare and contrast two nonfiction texts. So remember, nonfiction meaning real, okay? All right, let's go ahead and go to our essential questions. How can you compare and contrast nonfiction, and why is it important to compare? So think about why in the world would you need to compare something? Talking about stories. I want to give you a second to think about that. So that you can comprehend it better and understand it better, and so that you can find the similarities and differences between the two stories of the two things that you are learning about. All right, here we go. We're going to learn about a frogfish and also a Spanish flagfish. So I hope you learned something new. Here we go. Remember, try to read with me if you can. Frogfish. Frogfish are found in the deep, rocky floors of coral reefs. It spends most of its time at the seafloor, which is the bottom. Remember all those layers of the ocean that we learned about? Remember? I'm going to take you back in time to where we did that art project where we had the layers of the ocean. And then at the bottom, that's where this fish lives. All right, it spends most of its time on the seafloor. Frogfish can be many colors, which is dependent on its habitat. So think about where it lives, that's the habitat. So it's going to change, not really change colors, but it's going to be a different color based on where that habitat is. So if in the habitat where it is, it's like mostly has like greenish colors, it's going to be green. If in that habitat it's mostly like reddish colors and pink, it's going to be that kind of color. So they can be many different colors. They really blend in very, very well. They are nocturnal and hunt at night. It is an ambush predator who uses surprise to catch its prey. They have a worm-like rod that attracts their prey, which is fish. So you remember in Nemo where they had that big, nasty-looking fish that lived in the deep and had that light thing that hangs out? So this frogfish is very similar, where it has this rod that hangs out. It's not a light, but it has like a little rod that they kind of catch the fish with. So they can also inflate their body, which scares the prey, and they live alone. So you're not going to find them with other groups of the same type of fish. They're a little bit loners. All right, so let's take a look at our pictures here. So frogfish photos, and it's very interesting to look at because you can hardly even tell that it is a fish. So right here you can see the eye and the mouth, but very difficult. It kind of just blends in, looks like a piece of coral or a piece of rock, ocean rock. And right here's that rod that I was talking about that just catches the fish right on there. Very interesting. Apparently they're very, very difficult to spot or find if you're like scuba diving out in the wild, which totally makes sense because you can hardly even tell that it's a fish at all. So crazy. I thought that was really interesting. Now let's go ahead and go to the next thing, the Spanish flagfish. So the Spanish flagfish lives in the deep edges of reefs, coral reefs. It is bright pink and yellow with stripes. They have sharp fins, which protect it from predators. The flagfish lives in pairs, which means two. So they live in groups of two. You'll find two of them together. And they feed on small fish, and they are also nocturnal and hunt at night. There's a similarity between the frogfish that we learn about. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our pictures here, and you can see it's a very beautiful fish. But right along here is those sharp fins, I guess you would say, up at the top, sharp spiny fins. And if a predator were to go and bite them, they'll probably spit them out because it would hurt. So you don't want to be touching those fish. All right, let's go ahead and do pop quiz and see how much you remember from the story. Now, remember, if you would like to go ahead and listen to me read those again, that's totally fine. You can go back and rewind. Beauty of online teaching. And remember, if you need more time, always just hit pause and pause me. All right, here we go. Which of the following is true for both the frogfish and the Spanish flagfish? A, they both live in shallow waters. B, they both have stripes. C, they both live in the deep. Or D, they both have sharp fins. All right, guys, I'm moving on. Here we go. They both live in the deep. Whoop, whoop. All right, so remember we talked about how they both are living at the bottom layer of the ocean there. All right, so let's take a look at another one. Which of the following is a difference? Now you gotta pay attention in your question. Is it asking for similarity or is it asking for a difference? So a difference means something that is not the same between the frogfish and the Spanish flagfish. Only the Spanish flagfish live in the deep. B, the frogfish ambushes its prey. C, they both live in the deep. Or D, only the frogfish is nocturnal. Remember, we want a difference, something that is not the same. All right, guys, I'm moving on. Pause that video if you need a little bit extra time to think about it. The Spanish flagfish ambushes its prey. So, oh, that is not correct, Miss McGuire. I had it right on the other slide. That was interesting. I guess this is actually the frogfish that ambushes with that rod that it has. I don't know why that happened. My bad. Even teachers make mistakes. Say, it's cool, Miss McGuire. So let's go back to our presentations and talk about a little bit about those other choices that we had. So this one says only the Spanish flagfish live in the deep. No, that's not true because we talked about just previous that they both are in the bottom layer of the ocean. They both live in the deep. That is true, but we wanted to find a difference. So if you chose C, you're probably thinking about what was the same instead of thinking about what was different. And then D said only the frogfish is nocturnal, and that's not true because they both are nocturnal. It said that in the story too. Remember, good readers, if you didn't get it right, no problem. Good readers just always reread and try to figure that out of where they found their you have to find that evidence in the story that we've always been talking about in closed reading. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to go to the next one. All right, which is true? Only the frogfish lives in the deep. The frogfish and the flagfish eat fish. The flagfish is active during the day and the frogfish is nocturnal. Or D, both fish have sharp fins to protect themselves from predators. So we want the true one, the real one. So think about that. All right, guys, I'm going to move on. If you need more time, which you probably do, go ahead and click pause on me. The frogfish and the flagfish eat fish. Super fun times. All right, let's move on to your challenge. So your challenge is, I hope you love learning about those fish. I just had such a hard time figuring out which fish to teach you about because there's so many. So if you have a chance, go ahead and look up some other fish and find some similarities and differences. There's so many to learn about. All right, we're going to go to Google Classroom. We're going to click on 4-15 for today's challenges. Then click on ELA 4-15, compare and contrast. You're going to read each story and answer the questions comparing the two different sharks. Do their mission? Have fun. Always have fun. And learn something new, guys. Learn something new. Just keep swimming and just keep learning. All right, I'm going to pretend like you just went to Google Classroom and got there and are super amazing and super fast at that now because you should be. All right, let's go to here at the top. Remember, if you want to go back to a certain window on your computer, it's kind of cool because you can toggle back and forth on these little tabs at the top and to get back to either Google Classroom and then the assignment or the challenge, you can go back and forth. Super cool tip. All right, so let's go ahead and go here. So this is look at that crazy shark. So what you're going to do is, and I tell you some directions at the top, you're welcome if you forgot. Are you going to read this story about the great white shark, and then you're going to read about the legendary great white shark. Yes, they're different. So there are slight differences between the two. So you have to figure out those differences. And then you're going to type your name. You're going to type what fact does great white shark tell that the legendary shark does not. And then read those questions and answer them to the best of your ability. And then just for fun, how many teeth can sharks have in their lifetime? And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and read those right now. If you don't want to hear me read them and you want to do it on your own, go ahead and click out of me right now and goodbye and have fun. Totally fine with me if you do not want to hear me read them. But for those of you who do want to hear me read them, here I am and I'm going to read them to you. All right, here we go. The great white shark. The great white shark is a very interesting fish. They have gray skin on the top, but a white belly and rows of sharp triangular teeth. They can grow between 15 and 20 feet long and weigh more than 5,000 pounds. They are found in warm, salty water all over the world. They can be found in colder water too because they are warm-blooded. They can swim on the surface and deep in the ocean. So all over, guys, all over. Great whites are carnivores, which means they eat meat like whales, sea turtles, and seals. Aww. They have a special tongue made of cartilage and used to sample their prey. They are very quick swimmers, which makes it easy to attack animals from below. So they could be up here on the surface of the water and see something they want to try to get and dive down super deep and grab it really quick. All right, let's learn about the legendary great white shark. So slightly different. Great whites are most fearsome sharks in the ocean. Great whites are known as a sample biter. That means they bite things to see if they want what they eat. They eat small whales and turtles. They have 300 serrated triangular teeth arranged in several rows. Their noses are extremely sensitive, so they are able to detect 1 drop of blood in 25 gallons of water. They are 15 feet long and can weigh more than 5,000 pounds. They are slate gray on the top of their bodies to blend in with the rocky coastal seafloor. Their white bellies are how they get their name great white. They can speed through the waters up to 15 miles per hour, and they are typically found in cool coastal waters throughout the world. So down here, there's some questions. I want you to try your best on those questions. And if you need to, you can always scroll back up to the top and reread to try to find the answers to your questions. So go ahead and have fun with that. I hope you learned something about sharks and about fish today. And have a great day, guys. Miss you guys. Bye.